It is I, Kane Atsutsuki, or Nicholas Ely, or what will soon be the channel's final formation, Yuri. I have decided that today I wanted to make some Pokemon players suffer or have PTSD. Basically, I'm going to give 4 random fights. Basically, 4 random legendaries from past Pokemon games, abilities that would have made their already hard or completely lackluster fights either downright impossible or pretty cool. Or pretty challenging. So, without any further ado, let's get started. For today's first Pokemon, we're going to be talking about Giratina. But not just any Giratina fight, the Giratina fight at the end of Pokemon Legends Arceus. Well, not the very end, but you know what I mean, like the final non-God and non-Arceus fight. Basically, the third phase of the Volo fight. However, I'm not talking about the base form. No, today I'm talking about the origin form. As I want to make this fight a bit more interesting. Because yes, the Volo fight is one of the hardest fights in Pokemon history. However, I think we can make this already grueling fight 10 times worse. Or a little bit worse. As I think the origin form is a nice touch and a good addition to a fight, but it's a bit lackluster in my opinion. I mean, no new moves, just a new animation for Shadow Force, and it's stronger now but weaker. Like, I don't get it. Why would you make yourself more powerful but make yourself much more less durable? I don't get it. So, today we're going to be creating a move that helps it with its weaknesses it gains from and when it transforms. So, I was thinking, what could I create for Giratina? What would a move that would fit Giratina be called, even? And I was thinking, and Giratina doesn't really resemble, and his abilities, or its abilities, don't really resemble Distortion. If anything, its abilities and its entire dimension resemble the concept of gravity. As I have an entire theory that Giratina is the Pokemon of gravity. That video is on my channel if you so wish to watch it. But anywho, enough about the theories for today. So, I wanted to give Giratina an ability called gravitation. Sorry, not an ability, a move called Gravitational Pull. What Gravitational Pull does is actually quite interesting. You see, it works as an attack move, as it hits for a total of 80 damage. And for a base total of 80 damage. Now, that is not all, of course. Oh no. Gravitational Pull also has the side ability of when it hits, it decreases the attack and the special attack, special defense, normal attack, and normal defense of the hit Pokemon. Essentially, now the concept or the idea of Gravitational Pull was essentially like Giratina would have gravity around you become much more heavy, which and become much more heavy. Like it would be harder for you to move, you'd be much slower. Essentially, it's like an Omni Boost, but backwards. It decreases your speed, it decreases the opponent's speed, special attack, special defense, normal defense, and along with the 80 damage it brings. So basically, it's just all bad and pretty freaking powerful. Yeah, that would definitely make the Volo fight a lot more interesting. Moving on to the next patron on our list, though. The most, in my opinion, the most lackluster legendary fight on this list. No, it's not the no, it is not the Miraidon / Koraidon fight from, Pokemon Generation 9, because that fight is scripted for you to win. So it isn't really lackluster because you can't really lose. Now, I'm not going to be talking about Eternatus's hand form, as that is also a scripted fight that you cannot, by definition, lose. No, I'm going to be talking about its dragon form, and a little ability I like to call Dark Touch or Touch of Darkness. What does this ability do? Well, I'm glad you asked, or didn't. Basically, Dark Touch is an ability I created to sort of, add a bit more to the Darkest Day aspect of Eternatus, as it's literally called the Pokemon which starts the darkest day when awakens. Yeah, I really expected this thing to be a freaking dark type, Eternatus. But no, we got a poison type. So I'm fixing that by adding it a dark move. Now, Dark Touch is actually quite interesting and unique in the fact that it will only work if, the move will only activate if it is a critical hit. Basically, if you use this move and it doesn't do a critical hit, basically nothing happens. So it's quite the risky gamble. But if you are somehow able to get a crit by using this move, then something interesting happens. Basically, Touch of Darkness halves the stats, all the stats of your opponent's Pokemon in half, for a total of 3 turns. The problem is, the good thing about this ability and about this attack is it can only be used once per battle. So that's good, right? Now, yes, I think this would be a really fun ability. If not making it harder, it would at least make the fight a bit more interesting instead of what lackluster poison type battle it was. Sorry, I'm really upset. Seriously, it is Necrozma. Sorry, not Necrozma, but Eternatus is built up to be this powerful Pokemon of complete darkness that shrouds the world, or at least all of Galar, in darkness. And it literally has an event named the Darkest Day. And if I'm correct, I don't think we have a Dark Dragon type legendary. Seriously, why the hell? They were so close! Then they decide to make it a freaking poison type, confusing the hell out of not just me, but my entire family and everyone I know. Like, why the hell would you make Eternatus a poison type? It makes no sense lore-wise, or even Pokemon-wise. Like, why? Moving on. Next up, we have a Pokemon called Zapmolkuno from the ROM hack / fan game Pokemon on Infinite Fusion. Basically, you smash two Pokemon together, they create something either cursed, something pretty cool, or something that's a reference to another thing. I mean, literally. If you smash Dialga and Pikachu together, you know what you get? You get frickin' Dio. That isn't even a joke. Like, bro, what the hell? Anywho. Now let's create an ability for Zapmolkuno. Now Zapmolkuno, if I'm correct, is actually a pretty hard fight as it is. Basically, it's like Legends Arceus mechanics, where instead of fighting one Pokemon, you're fighting 3 Pokemon at once. That's a problem. And that's a pretty cool idea. Like a 3-headed boss that attacks 3 different times on the same turn? I love that idea. But it is kinda meh, in my opinion. So I decided to create the move Triumvirate. Triumph or Trifecta. Now this move is actually it's actually meh compared to the other moves I've created on this list. But moving on. Basically, what this move does is quite simple. It raises Zapmolkuno's speed, all 3 of their speed. It raises their defense, and it raises their special and non-special defense, and it raises their special and non-special special attack. Basically, it's a very powerful buff. It does not heal, though, because that'd be just unfair. Speaking of an unfair fight, let's go on to the final one, and the Pokemon that made me make this video, just by thinking of it. Here it is, ladies and gents, the moment y'all been waiting for, Ultra Necrozma. Back when the game first came out, as in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Ultra Necrozma was regarded as the most powerful Pokemon. Not just one of the most powerful Pokemon in lore, but also one of the hardest fights, literally giving him the title of Nuzlocke Destroyer. And then fucking Alolan Muck had to come out of nowhere and ruin it. Fucking annoying. So I was watching some runs against... So I was looking at some runs with Ultra Necrozma, and I noticed something. Ultra Necrozma would be overpowered if it had a healing move. And that's when I came up with the idea of the move Sunrise. Now, Sunrise is actually a pretty broken move. Like, if anyone added this move into a Pokemon game, I guarantee you would not be able to beat Ultra Necrozma. What Sunrise does is pretty straightforward. Essentially, Sunrise is not only a healing move, as yes, it heals for a total of 100 HP. You heard that right. 100 HP. And unlike other healing moves like Rest or Roost, you do not get sleepy or tired by using this move. And that's not all. Sunrise also strengthens the Strengthen as a ability that, and as a special effect that Sunrise only has when it is used on a psychic type, because for some reason psychic types are basically like the light type of Pokemon. I don't know why they don't just create a light type. It's weird. Basically, and this ability only works on a psychic type or a Pokemon with the psychic type. Sunrise activates a sort of Omni Boost, boosting the speed, the attack, the special attack, the special defense, and the normal defense of the Pokemon it is used on. Now that's already broken enough. Just imagine, you come in with a Alolan Muck, you think, prepare to die, Ultra Necrozma. Then he uses frickin' Sunrise. His speed, he is Oh, and by the way, this move can be used every single turn if the Pokemon or user of that Pokemon wants it to be used on that turn. Yeah, that's pretty broken. So, yeah. Basically, this Ultra Necrozma could literally be spamming what are basically freaking nukes and ancient power, slaughtering your entire team with one hits, and then, when you bring out your Alolan Muck and start doing some damage, it just uses Sunrise, not only strengthening itself, but also healing itself, making it harder for you to attack. And also, one other small tidbit about Sunrise is, and this will actually cause a text box to appear. When Sunrise is used, a negative effect is given to the opposing Pokemon of Ultra Necrozma. This effect would be called blindness, or blinded. Basically, the text box says, and basically the text box would say, Ultra Necrozma Ultra Necrozma glows brighter, and even brighter than before. Or basically this effect would blind your Pokemon, essentially making it harder for you to hit. Basically decreasing your accuracy, and not only that, but it would also sort of act like confusion, but instead of hitting yourself, your Pokemon can actually hurt your other Pokemon from inside their Pokeballs. That's a problem. That's a pretty cool ability. And that's a pretty cool move. That would put Ultra Necrozma back on the top of the leaderboards as the most powerful Pokemon ever. And the Slayer of Nuzlocke once more. So, what do you think? Did you enjoy this video? Do you think you could defeat any of these Pokemon? And what do you think of these abilities? Do you think they're cool? Do you think they're... These moves. Do you think they're cool? Do you think they're powerful? Do you think they need to be nerfed or buffed? And would you like to see any of these moves added to any Pokemon? Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. And without any further ado, skadoosh!